Hey everyone, welcome back to Strategy School. Today, we'll be talking about the meta that is currently going out now. The strategy that just keeps on getting used, whether it be high tier, mid tier, or even low tier. It's everywhere, it's always the one that's being used. We're talking about ISO Randy. Let's get into it. I'm not really the biggest fan of this strategy, but I mean, there's a reason why it's always so used. There's a reason why it's meta. It's because it's very effective. So, firstly, let's talk about how ISO Randy works. And simply put, Randy is left alone inside the court, and he's going to be attacking the paint while the big and the point guard are outside. The big will keep screening the point guard outside, and Randy will either attack the inside or fake attacking the inside to help a second defender go inside, where he can just simply pass it to the point guard, and the point guard can shoot a 3-pointer because the big is screening the defender. It's that simple. It's just either Randy attacks the inside or he passes to the point guard who can shoot trees. So that's the simple explanation on how the strategy works. So let's take a look, let's take a look into their stats. So firstly, let's talk about Randy and what stat we actually want to give him. And simply put, we would want to actually give Randy pure power. Now, some prefer to actually give him 3-pointer, some prefer to give him speed, and some actually also give him mid-range. But in all honesty, most players, especially high tier players, just give Randy pure power instead, because it helps out on defense, and it just makes his sprint dunks and dunks in general that much harder to actually block. So again, I would recommend that you give Randy pure power. Next up, we'll talk about the big that we actually want to use for ISO Randy, and that's Robbie. Robbie is going to be the big that you're going to want to actually use, preferably. And with the stat that we would want to give him, it's either max power or mostly power with speed. Speed is very important here, and that's why Robbie is actually the preferable center to be used here, because we're gonna do a lot of screening. We're gonna be doing a lot of screening for the PG, and Robbie just does a very good job when it comes to actually doing those screens. And defensively, he still has a lot of power, even if he is in the overload mode. So yeah, Robbie would be the best center to be used for this strat, and you can give him either pure power or mostly power and some speed. Lastly, for point guard, the most preferable one to be used is Jackie, simply because of how good he is actually at scoring the ball. See, drift trees are actually harder to hit than fadeaways, which is why we want to use Jackie. He has the easiest shot to take, and he's really good at taking that said shot with his level 4 fadeaway 3-pointer. So again, Jackie would be the most preferable PG to use with ISO Randy. So let's talk about more in depth on how this strategy actually works. So all you really need to know is that Randy will be staying inside the court. You will be passing him the ball once he's actually inside the court. There, what you're gonna want to do is actually move Jackie into the 3-point line, and Robbie follows Jackie. And while Randy has the ball, he can use his turnaround pass, and he can actually connect this with a sprint dunk. And that's where this strategy really gets deadly. It's very hard to actually block that sprint dunk when it's connected with turnaround pass. And so a lot of people will jump if you actually use this dribble move. And that's where Randy can actually either continue the sprint dunk, double pump that sprint dunk, or because Robbie and Jackie is outside, Randy can pass the ball to Jackie, and Robbie can just screen and Jackie can shoot a 3-pointer. Since you have double pump as well, you will attract support defense, which is what makes this strategy so deadly as well. It forces help defense if you actually really struggle with defending sprint dunk already because of double pump as well. And so that leaves Jackie with even less defenders and makes the last defender defending Jackie, that much more susceptible because Robbie is screening Jackie. So yeah, this strategy really powerful. And let's just go ahead and look at a match where we use some of these skills and we use the ISO Randy strategy, and we'll talk about this strategy some more as well. Alright, so firstly, let's talk about the matchups that you're gonna want to get or are gonna want to avoid. And honestly, there isn't really that matchup that you actually want to avoid or actually want to get. Simply just try to avoid fighting Alto, Nikolai, or Ranger. Those defensive power forwards, that's it really. Try to avoid fighting them. Ban them if you have the opportunity, especially Alto. Just ban them and you should do well. The shooters are gonna struggle to actually stop Randy. You can defend shooters properly if you know what you're doing. Dunk spam with Randy being full power, he can help out against those as well. Really, this strategy doesn't have bad matchups or really excels against any other matchups. It's pretty much just always going to be good matchups for you. Next up, we'll talk about the difficulty of actually pulling off this strategy. And honestly, it's not too hard, but also it does require for your team to know the strategy and for you to actually have a little bit of experience to be effective with it. Maybe the PG just goes too close to you at times. The big doesn't follow the PG, or even you have problems with activating sprint dunk with the turnaround pass dribble move. It may be hard for you to just do it normally, or you double pump too much. The screen is good, but then you actually continue with the dunk and you don't pass to your PG properly for a tree instead. It does require some experience to be effective with this skill or with this strategy, so there's that. But once you get the hang of it, it's not really that hard to actually use this strategy. So yeah, again, another strategy, another meta strategy that doesn't really require that much training. Now lastly, let's talk about this strategy when it comes to the meta. As I've said before at the start of the video, this is the meta. It's not going to be surprising if you see Randys everywhere, alright? They're going to be everywhere, whether you be on high tier, mid tier, low tier, whether you be fighting masters, legends, even fighting off diamond, crystal, everywhere. Randy is everywhere. Robbie is everywhere as well. Jackie has just been used so many times these past seasons because of how good his fadeaway tree has been. This strategy is very popular and it is one of the most used strategies in the entire game. And these are the characters that you are going to want to actually use to pull it off that much more effectively. As a quick side note as well, you can use Vanessa, as a backup big, and you can use Nana as well, or Mo Chen as a backup point guard. So anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.